I'd like to talk to you about the three switch boxes that we have at Therapy Box and just compare them all and show you how they all work. The first switch box that we have is the Therapy Box switch box, which is the black switch box that I've got here. This particular switch box has two switch inputs on the top there. You've got two 3.5mm jacks and a USB charging port. It also has the red button for pairing it with the iDevices. This particular switch box works with predictable and seen and heard, so I'm going to show you how that works now on my iPad.
With the switch box, you need to pair it with the Bluetooth settings to the iDevice itself, and then open the app that you want to use. In this case, it's predictable. The app will start scanning, and then you can click the single switch to select the row or column that you want, and enter your sentence that way. If you miss a row, you can go round and scan again. Once you're ready to speak the sentence, click Speak at the top. The switch box can also be used with two switches, one for movement and one for selection. Here, the right switch enables me to move the selection bar, and the left switch allows me to select the row or column that I want to use. I can enter my sentence using manual selection . This mode is very good for competent switch users.
So now you've seen how the Therapy Box switch box works, let me introduce you to the Praetorian applicator. This is the second switch box that we have at Therapy Box, and this particular switch box was designed to work with any apps that were designed themselves to be switch accessible. It has 4 ports on top, so you can plug in 4 switches, and you can adjust the modes by pressing on the mode button here and assigning the different ports to output different codes. It also has an iTunes switch, and when you press that, it will control iTunes on the device that you're using. Let me show you how this one works.
With the applicator connected to the Bluetooth, we can open the app that we want to use. The app will then scan columns and rows, and when I get to the column I want, I can select it. If I miss the column, I can wait and select it again. I can repeat this process until I've entered the whole sentence that I want to use. If I want to, I can control iTunes with the switch box by pressing the iTunes button. If I want to carry on using an app, I can turn the iTunes functionality off, press the button to speak, and it will fade out iTunes and speak for me. I also have the option to use 2 switches with this switch box. Using 2 switches, one will be for movement and one will be for selection. Here, my right switch is for movement and my left switch is for selection. Again, I can scan the columns and rows to input the sentence that I want to speak out. Once I've put the sentence into the app, I can then speak it out.
Now that you've seen how the Praetorian applicator works, Let me show you the Praetorian switch to scan, which is the third switch box that we have at Therapy Box. Again, this switch box has 4 ports on top, and you can assign each port to send out a different code. This particular switch box, though, runs with the voiceover functionality that is on the iDevice, and it scans the entire screen and allows you to select any app and use it with the voiceover functionality. Let me show you how that works.
Again, I've already paired the switch to scan with the Bluetooth. I then go into VoiceOver and turn it on.
VoiceOver on. Landscape.
Once
Settings.
I've turned on VoiceOver, I hold the right hand button on the switch to scan to turn the speech off. I can then hold the switch for around a second to start scanning forwards. The screen will then be scanned by a thin grey bordered box. Once it reaches predictable, I can click the switch to open it. Once the app has loaded up, VoiceOver will start to scan it, again with a thin grey box. When I get to the words in the prediction strip that I want to enter, I can click the switch to select them. If I then want to scan again, it will scan forward, but if I hold the switch, it will scan backwards. I can then enter all of the words that I want to use. The box will then scan back to the speak button so I can speak out my sentence.
Hello, my name is Russell.
If I hold the switch for 2 seconds, the app will close. With the switch to scan, I can also use an array of switches. Here I have 3 switches plugged in. The right hand switch is to move forward, the left hand switch is to move backwards, and the centre switch is to select. This means I do not have to use the scanning rate of VoiceOver. I can click the forward button to get to the word that I want to enter, then click the centre button to select it, and the back button to move back. This method of entry is very efficient for experienced multiple switch users.
Hello, my name is Russell.
So there you have it, the 3 switch boxes that we have here at Therapy Box. You would use the Therapy Box switch box if you just want to control predictable or seen and heard. You would use the Praetorian applicator if you want to use any other apps that were designed to be switch accessible and access iTunes. And you would use the Praetorian switch to scan if you want to use the entire iDevice using the VoiceOver scanning functionality.